It's funny because I've played with Saint so much in my career, and I've known him for so long. I'm actually really good friends with him. I want him to make it back into the LCS, but it's unfortunate that we picked his team, which means that we'll be going and he won't.
Well, I mean, I've been friends with Double since like season 1. He was a like geeky kid showing up season 1, like didn't have any clue about anything. It's like funny seeing him like grow up throughout the scene. Like we were like 2 of the longest lasting pros. Like we get to play against each other. We played on the team together so many times, but and one of us has got to go, man. Like he can make it back into the expansion tournament, but not gonna be this time.
Hello once again and welcome to Game 3 between CLG and Curse Academy. So far, Curse Academy has dominated the LCS veterans and they could sweep them in this next match.
Yeah, Kane has played so well and the sweep is definitely on the table. He was up 3.6 thousand gold at the end of that game and really came through strong for his team. And wow, the whole of Curse Academy's lineup has just looked pretty stellar.
Yeah, it's looked incredible, but it has been all hinging around St. Vicious being able to make these plays from the jungle and really command his team. And he's on this Kha'Zix as well. He can leap into these fights. And as we saw, with the wild growth and the shockwave, they were able to dictate where they wanted to do the damage.
Yeah, Saint and Bunny are so disruptive. They're just jumping into the backline and wreaking havoc. And like, Bunny Fufu especially has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
Those unbreakables where he was just putting the shield up and blocking all of the damage coming out of Double Lift was fantastic.
Yeah, and that is not... On the side of CLG, if you have a Vayne not doing any damage, that's almost everything. But, of course, we are into Champ Select. We have already the bans coming through thick and fast. It's going to be Alistair, Syndra, and Maokai for Counterlogic Gaming. Actually, no, it's not. They were the previous bans. Don't even worry about it, everyone. Nailed it. I thought that they were thinking about this really, really quickly. It's like, yep, surefire. But it may actually look the same.
So CLG has taken Nuno off the board. Obviously don't want to play against that. Zillion being taken off the board. Don't want to first pick that one. And Syndra and Alistair have been taken out of the Rift by Curse Academy.
Yeah, Link is not going to see Syndra this series, I don't believe. Nidalee also going to be taken off the board. And CLG first picking the Tristana for Double Lift. Finally, they've got him on this hyper carry that can sit back in a team fight and just do the damage.
And not only that, we've heard so much about Double Lift's Tristana in scrims, going super aggressive, jumping into the backline, buster shotting people back. His positioning is terrific. Although 2 really quick picks coming through.
Link has to play Orianna right here.
Bunny has Thresh, Saint has Kha'Zix. This is looking like a game 1 lineup, and wow, he does go for the Orianna.
Yeah, and they pick the Lulu away from Chris as well, so that's another comfort pick taken away. And with Maokai and Alistair both benched, including the Nidalee as well, that is a decent pickup. And Seraph, of course, knows how to play that Lulu to great effect. So CLG looking fantastic in this draft phase so far. We'll see what Keen decides to bring out, because we know that he's a fantastic player. He doesn't have to just play Orianna.
And there are 2 support picks here that will augment so well with this team. If they get Braum or Nami in the bottom lane, that is going to be devastating with a late game Tristana. We saw it in one of TSM's game actually, a similar team comp where Turtle was just able to go crazy, and if he can do it, you have so much faith in Double doing it as well. They do pick up the Ryze and the Lucian, wanting to have a little bit more time maybe thinking about that mid lane pick, or potentially giving Keen Ryze.
Yeah, we'll see whether Chris does decide to pick that one up in the top lane. There are a lot of really ambiguous picks going on here, though, just because you can have Lucian in both AD carry and mid lane, Ryze top and mid lane. They can decide what they want to do with the rest of their comp, but it looks to me like Curse Academy have a comp that's a little bit similar to that of CLG's last game. We'll see whether they play it out any differently, and of course, Bunny Fufu on Thresh. This is what I'm scared about. We'll see what CLG do answer with, and it is going to be Aphromu's Braum. And Aphromu is a fantastic player of any of these sort of in-your-face supports. And it is going to be Dexter back on that Elise as well. So Elise, Lee Sin, Elise. I'm liking what Dexter's doing so
and
far.
Perfect champion to get into the middle of this team fight with the ball. Not going to be able to be disrupted whatsoever by a play. So far, if this gets to the late game, CLG has a terrific fight comp.
And this is the first time that they've had that as well. They've been looking for a lot of these. I mean, I guess last game it was all about late game as well, but Xerath for Keen. See whether he does lock this in, because we've seen Xerath being so potent in these poke comps.
And we saw the Xerath Ryze combo where Ryze locks them down with the Rune Prism and Xerath just spikes them with all of that damage coming out of his ultimate. However, I haven't seen Keen play Xerath. So it would be,
that's true.
It's going to be interesting to see how well he has picked this champion up.
We did see Keen play a lot of Nidalee back before the rework, of course, when she had those Spears of Doom. And it is a little bit similar considering the fact that you have that really long range Q in order to do a lot of your damage. So we'll see whether it makes it work that way.
And I want to see when we get into this game whether St. Vicious picks up his W evolve this time. Because they have a much better kite back team comp than they do a dive in let's fight team comp. So it would lend itself well, I believe, to a W evolve, being able to ensure that Xerath can get off all that poke damage, control the team fights, and not necessarily dive in for the 5v5s as we've been seeing.
Yeah, it is definitely interesting, and so far, it's a different comp that CA has been trying to go for before, is I think what I'm trying to say. So they're not necessarily going for that really all-in team fight, wombo combo. They're going for the sit back and poke, let's try and get you low before we do anything, before St. Vicious does jump in. So we'll see whether they can play that style. And now the series stands at 2-0 in favor of Curse Academy. I cannot believe that I'm even saying it. Who do you think will win this match? Do you think it's going to be a sweep? Or do you think CLG can come back in the 5-game series? Yeah, I think so too. Send your answers to Twitter at LOL Esports with the hashtag CLGwin or CAwin. And we'll check the votes very shortly. But let's get into this game, man, because I'm so ready to see CLG try and fight this one back, because I think that if they're going to do it, this is the comp to use.
Yeah, and we are jumping onto the Rift. You'll see CLG on the blue side, Curse Academy on the red side, and wow, this could potentially be the final game.
It could. It could. CLG could be out of the LCS. And I can't fathom that right now. I don't think I'm ready. So let's just assume it's all going to be fine. Otherwise, my brain explosion.
We do see that once again, both teams have gone out to standard lanes. They're just setting up along the river. Expect the red buff wards once again. I think.
And now that Curse Academy have the wife steal bottom lane in Lucian and Thresh, do you think that maybe they're going to have a little bit of an edge as far as the 2v2 is concerned? Because, of course, Tristana not as strong.
Wow,
oh my
goodness, getting being caught.
Yeah, St. Vicious are taking a lot of damage as well, but Dexter in trouble. There's the slow from the W as well. Command Protect from Link is going to save him on this one. Not even having to use his flash. Really nice control. Aframu, maybe a little bit caught out at this stage. Yep, he's not too worried.
Both bottom lanes just trading back and forth. They want to get that red ward in. Oh, wow.
There's the Death Sentence as well. Nice Arcano Pulse from over the side from Kane. But again, Command Protect, stop it. Stop hurting my players.
And it does look like while CLG wasn't able to get the red buff ward, Curse Academy has. You were talking about the bottom lane. I actually think that Tristana Braum is a fantastic lane. Once they hit level 2, they can go aggressive so easily. I think that Impactful and Bunny are going to look to kite back. As I said, be nice and safe. Just try and keep the CS deficit to a manageable area and try and win in their kite back team fight. Pull away with the mid-game win here.
Yeah, and hopefully St. Vicious can stay a little bit calm in these fights. We know that he loves to just leap straight in, as they do start up their blue buff. Of course, a little bit of a leash coming through from the bottom lane here at the same time, but the lane swap has come in as well, and Doublelift now trying to stack this wave as well, ignoring Chris almost completely.
And wow, they've got aggressive straight away.
Being slowed. There's the Winter's Bite as well. They're going to get the stun. Chris forced to flash at minute 2 of this game, and that is disastrous. They know what happens when their Rise falls this far behind.
Definitely, and with Dexter starting on the bottom of the map, he's going to be able to go straight away to the enemy's red buff, pick that up, and if Chris hasn't teleported back in, I was going to say, if Chris burns his teleport here, this could be disastrous with the dive coming through.
Not to mention the fact that Dexter is on this Elise as well, who can use that repel to dodge turret aggro so effectively after that dive. And Aframu here, just going to tank up this red and stun it up, easily take this kill, and you can see that execute damage plus the smite, easily going to take that one away. So Dexter, brilliant start so far. That's red to red.
Yeah, and St. Vicious obviously only going to get the 1 buff start this game, so let's see how he does jungling from behind for potentially the first time. And they have swapped it, so it's a 1v1, and then Bunny's in top lane now supporting Chris, so he might be fine in this lane.
See whether they can make it work, of course. Having your funny fufu on that all-important Thresh is definitely good, but 3 buff start now for CLG, and that is scary.
Yeah, particularly with Keen pushing up this mid lane. If any CC comes out of Dexter and locks that lane up, there might be some even more summoners burn at this point. Look for Dexter to potentially go into that lane.
Yeah, and that's true. And that's the danger of actually picking away a champion from someone instead of banning it out, because you know that this person has such a mastery on it that they're going to know exactly what you're capable of as well. So Link picking up this Orianna, we'll see whether it works out for him, but so far Keen being able to land a few of these abilities, especially in that level 1 skirmish, so we'll see how he does. Of course, currently up 1 CS, so nothing really to write home.
And with the top lane only being just hitting level 2, they've sent Dexter up there for a potential gank.
Yeah.
Looks like he is just recalling a little bit too late there.
Yeah, but it's going to be St. Vicious once again taking away these wraiths. More than happy to stay around this lane. And the 1v1 of Lucian. Oh, actually, nice death sentence onto Double Lift as well. Takes half of his health. Aframu a little bit late with the Unbreakable. I'm not going to worry about that one too much. And I don't think CLG thinks that they're in all that much trouble this time.
Yeah, I think that when Double Lift saw that the death sentence had missed, he mistook that he wasn't in any danger. The Flake came through, took a turret shot. He's going to be fine. And yeah, we just have complete standard lanes, but just on the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see whether they can make this one work. Of course, Keen pushing out this wave relatively hard. But Link is not going to struggle to farm out this one underneath this turret as well. And you can see, yep, it's just pretty much a farm fest in that middle lane.
Yeah, Orianna with that passive obviously able to CS absolutely fine on the turret. Doesn't need to use any abilities, so looking to enjoy that matchup. Now with the wave pushing in CLG's favor, they can choose to freeze this, and this really opens the map up for Dexter's ganks.
See whether Double Lift can actually do that, of course. Freezing with a Tristana is very difficult. Oh, actually, Aframu coming straight in on this one. There's the exhaust down, trying to force this fight. Very, very hard. Dexter was there, of course, but that was almost a little bit too obvious at that stage.
Yeah, of course, they were just counting on the fact that Chris's flash still wasn't up, so looking to get a bit of early game dominance in that lane, take advantage of the early burn summoner, and they have managed to freeze, meaning that St. Vicious is going to have to eventually come to this top lane to try and break that freeze for his team.
Yeah, the explosive shot can make it difficult, but he is going to try his very, very best. Dissonance coming through to try and clear out these minion waves as well. And a Kano Pulse, see if he lands it. There it is, beautiful. But nice Command Protect as well, so I don't know who necessarily wins, as far as that's concerned.
The confidence win out of team.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, wow, as another one is coming through as well. He's hitting all of these. However, Link is farming absolutely fine in this lane, and we've seen what a farmed Orianna can do as they both hit level 6.
Yeah, Kane just going to keep trying to get this one to work out. W going to come through as well.
And we do have Curse Academy converging on the Dragon. They're going to be looking to push this with all 5 members. There is a ward there that will spot them out, but with 2 members in the top lane on the side of CLG, they might just look to trade this for the top lane turret.
Yeah, we've got Dexter actually using that repel in order to get into that the golem, so they're not going to contest this one at all, and I think this is intelligent from CLG because this has been where they've been losing the fight, so now if they can trade objectives instead of fighting where Curse Academy are so comfortable, that could really start working out for them, and they need to change something because they're 2 games down in a best of 5. This is terrifying. Seraph forcing flash.
Well, just missing on Seraph actually, and they've put 4 strong in this bottom lane now, looking to force this. However, looks like nothing's going to come of it. Chris will head back top lane and potentially try to look to freeze. However, they haven't taken the turret yet, so they might try and push another full wave into it and let the creeps slowly kill it.
And the other thing that's working out for CLG as well is the fact that Seraph is on 40 CS to Chris's 15. So after having to use that flash so early on, he's really had to play it so passively. And when you've got Aframu and Double Lift going so aggressive on him, it's also really, really difficult. Now, only 2 creeps left over. I don't think this is going to be feasible either for Chris if he wants to.
No, definitely is not. Chris is going to have to walk into that lane. Now he's in severe danger. He's only level 4 as we just saw, and only has a tier, so if he gets any pressure up in that top lane, especially with the consistent slows and speed ups that come from Lulu, who I assume they will send top, he's in a lot of danger of dying.
Certainly is. As we can see, Keen just more than happy just to push out this wave over and over again. Doesn't necessarily want to trade, just wants to get as much creeps into his back pocket as possible. And look at that vote, that has swung so much. Now only 59% in favor of CLG, now 60, so people are, as we're talking about it, voting.
As soon as CLG fans see that vote, they're like, that's it, I'm getting on lolesports.com, I'm changing that vote around right now.
Yeah, exactly. We appreciate it, guys. But let's look into this one. We'll see whether CLG can come back, because of course that would be the dream. The 3-0 comeback. So far, Curse Academy have looked so incredibly strong. Double Lift now trying to farm out this wave against Impactful. Impactful giving him the respect that he deserves, even though he does have a bit of a level advantage. With Aframu there, Happy to throw out these unbreakables.
Yeah, but the CS lead is completely even this game. Impactful's been able to stay relevant through the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Whereas in previous games, we were seeing a CS advantage go to the side of the CLG bottom lane. However, they have picked up the first turret, and look at the zone coming out of Seraph. He's not letting Chris get anywhere near this wave.
Yeah, Chris is just absolutely useless at this stage right now. When that creep wave is so far up, he's this Ryze who's so vulnerable to ganks. Does have his flash up, but with no turret there, he's not going to be able to walk the extended walk in order to get out of it.
And they did ping the ward, so Saint's been able to get in here undetected. Once again, going with the E evolve, so looking for some ganks. And I think that he's just going to walk up here and try and push this wave out, make it hit turret, and get it reset.
Yep. Although, even as a 2v1, they're very, very frightened. With that pink ward, of course, the vision advantage definitely in CLG's favor. So Dexter theoretically could be anywhere. Right?
Yeah, and they don't want to face check it, so they're petrified of where Dexter could potentially be. And if Chris goes down now, that's an even further swing as the hook comes out and misses in the bottom lane.
Happy to throw him. It's only about the ones that you hit, guys. It's not about the ones that you miss.
Yeah, you miss 100% of shots you don't take.
Exactly right. Bush continuing as well. Chris coming down to the mid lane just to see whether he can get anything, any form of experience. But the fight happening in the bottom lane. There's the flash into the death sentence coming out of Bunny Fufu. The Unbreakables there as well. Piercing light. That's a cute little dark passage in order just to, I don't know, for the fancy play.
Yeah, just trying to look for ways around that Unbreakable. Great use of the death from Afromu as another death sentence catapults into a minion. And wow, they've gone so aggressive.
There's a Relentless Pursuit actually. Double Lift takes so much damage from that one, and that is the power of Lucian. You can just do that whenever you want. Doesn't cost any mana, it's fine. Straight to your face, so much damage.
Couldn't turn around to trade even after the upfront burst had come out because they saw that Saint was heading down. They're looking to push another turret in, so it looks like the answer to the freeze happening in the top lane is drag Chris around the map and get farm wherever he can in experience, but as a group, take objectives.
See, that is working out, of course. There's still only a minute and a half to that dragon. Now that this next turret has been picked up from Curse Academy, that is completely even to the gold. Ooh, nice death sentence on Afromu, but Bunny Fufu wonders where his team's gone. A little bit odd. And they're going to head back to base.
A much calmer game at this point. Seraph continuing to push that CS lead. Wow, he has 4 times the CS of Chris at this point in the game, although Chris is going to be able to pick some up. Looking to push this wave out because Dragon's only a minute away, and if he doesn't get it in a neutral position and Seraph teleports for free, he's not going to be able to trade anything at advance, and it's going to mean a free objective on the side of CLG.
Not to mention the fact that Chris just had to use his ultimate. Of course, he's a Res. It's going to be back up in time for that Dragon. But yeah, with Lulu having a 2-level advantage at the same time, it's going to mean that that wild growth is just going to be so strong. Thankfully, hasn't got a 2nd level in it yet.
So, ward control on the bottom half of the map is nearly non-existent from CLG. If they give up another dragon, morale-wise, just giving up free objectives has to play on your mind.
Oh yeah.
Because you just feel like you can't fight, you have to give it up. And with the advantage they have on their top laner, they want to fight this objective.
They really need to because they have the stronger 5v5, with Chris being almost a non-factor at this stage. Doesn't even have a catalyst, let alone a Rod of Ages at this stage. Of course, 12 minutes in, if you're going to build that tier, you're not going to have your Rod of Ages just yet. In fact, now going to be able to clear out this pink ward most likely, but there's the Arcano Pulse. Oh, takes the Dark Passage to safety. That was one more proc on that passive here of Afromu. Quite lucky at that stage, but is going to be A-OK. We're going to put the blue buff onto Keen just to make sure that he can shoot out as many of these electrical-based abilities as possible. Nice leap out of the way of that Cocoon.
And great decision from CLG, looking to push the mid lane turret, pick up another objective from themselves, get it to 3/4 health. What this does, it means, wow, as Double gets chunked in that little exchange, it means if they do get a good dragon fight in their favor, they can rotate mid, take another objective for free.
Yep, CLG have rotated down for this dragon as well, so they really want to try and get something on. Bunny Fufu actually managing to land, but the 2-man shockwave coming out of Link, that's what they need. Double Lift gets first blood. There's the ultimate from Keen, but that's a double kill. Double Lift is jumping all around this fight. Is he going to be able to pick up more? The flash, the triple kill. Is Chris going to go down? No, yes, the quadra kill. King stops the party, but starting off, CLG picking up 4 kills onto Double Lift. That's what they needed.
And there will be no mid-game lag for this Tristana now.
Hell
4-1-0 and a Dragon on top of that. Perfect team fight coming out from CLG, and it all started with Link's beautiful shockwave.
Absolutely fantastic. Gets them low enough so that even the explosive shot from all of the deaths that were going on managed to pick that one up. Dexter secures the Dragon as well.
Was burnt then from Chris, and he did cancel it as they were coming through. So another wasted cooldown, and wow, CLG has just grabbed control of this game.
They certainly have, of course. Keen tried to do what he could in that fight, but not quite as impactful here as we see the replay coming through.
It actually looks like Dexter gets caught a little bit here, flashes straight into a hook, but then Saint jumps into the shockwave. And look at the perfect wombo combo that comes out of CLG. And this is what I was talking about, Double Lift's positioning. He's happy to jump into different areas of the fight to ensure he gets the most autos off as possible, going extremely aggressive onto Chris there as well to pick up the Quadra.
Yeah.
That must boost morale so much. It's allowed him to pick up the Infinity Edge.
Already with the Infinity Edge. 14 minutes into the game, Infinity Edge Brawlers Club. Yep, he's ready to fight this one out. Of course, the only kills on the team, but that's exactly the way that they like it. Of course, only translating into about a 1,300 gold lead. So, even though it's 14 minutes, so that is, you know, it's decent. But, nevertheless, not insurmountable for Curse Academy. They need to rally after this one, because you could imagine that if you just donate a Quadra kill to Double Lift, like, that's got to play on anyone's mind.
Yeah, and it looks like they have sent Double Lift into a lane to absorb farm. They're looking to repel this top lane with just Seraph, and he's pretty big himself at this point. He can maybe do it, although he gets chunked out. And Double Lift going to be able to pick up the bottom turret. So another objective secured for CLG.
Yeah, Curse Academy trying to answer with this top lane one, but when you've got Seraph up there with that Glitter Lance for so much extra wave clear, it's just really, really difficult for Curse Academy to get the pressure that they need. Nevertheless, it is going down quite low, although Factful's left and Chris has got to really watch out.
Yeah, so it doesn't look like they're going to be able to trade the objective back at all. They want to stop Double Lift's split push in this bottom lane, and out of nowhere, 20 CS advantage, 4-1-0. He's back in the same commanding position he's been in the first 2 games, but on a long-range hyper carry.
It's very, very scary, and we know that Tristana has that carry potential. You can stay back so safe. You've got 2 abilities that allow you to self-kite as well in this late game, and I think that it's going to be on Keen to be able to land his abilities on the long-range Tristana in order to actually lock him down, because, I mean, St. Vicious jumps in there. There's a Braum available.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's going to be the Keen Rise combo that has to get a good flank teleport and then set up the ultimate for Keen to be able to delete Double Lift. The Merc Tread's coming out on Link. Great pickup. There's so many stuns that can come out of nowhere, as well as Rise charging at you. Just being able to reposition yourself with how important the disruption is from Orianna and the ball protection for Double Lift. I really like this, the pickup to just get out of all the abilities with the tenacity.
Not to mention, if everyone collapses onto Link as well, he's going to have the opportunity to use that shockwave just to get it off, at least, in that team fight as soon as humanly possible.
It does look like Keen is starting to do some nice damage in this mid lane fight, but even he is 20 CS down this time, so every single lane going in the favor of CLG.
Yeah, Keen did manage to pick up the kill on Double Lift, so he got the shutdown immediately as that Rampage was built up. So Keen with a little bit of money in his back pocket managing to pick up, of course, the Sorcerer's Shoes and the Blasting One. Looking like he's going for possibly the Void Staff, as he did in the last game before the Rabbidan's Death Cap, or maybe just going for that high AP item first off as well.
The ping's going down on Keen right now. They want to contest this blue buff. Know that they have the advantage at 5v5s. All their cooldowns are up, as well as the teleport, so potentially able to do it. Looks like they're not going to. Just looking to pressure the mid lane, pick up another objective and extend their gold lead.
Yeah, Keen managed to get the blue buff though, but look at the amount of damage that's going onto this turret. Double Lift now. And I like that they're sending him into these solo lanes so he can soak up the experience, make sure he gets that range so that these sieges are going to be easy, because so far CLG hasn't had a comp that's been able to siege.
Exactly right, and the higher level he gets, the longer that range becomes. And they just have an answer for Chris sitting in this bot lane. Seraph at this point of the game, even though Rise should be ahead, with the early game that he had, is just able to completely bully Chris still. He has picked up his Rod of Ages, so that will be stacking now, but he's still a good 10-12 minutes away from where he can start trying to take over this game.
He has managed to recover fairly well, to be perfectly honest. Of course, he did have a very, very rough time in that early stage of the game, but 3,000 gold is almost the lead. Doublelift now in a lot of trouble.
What a
that
play
was incredible! Manages to catch him out of the flash as well! Bunny Fufu is a god. I'm putting it out right here. That was utterly stunning.
The Mad Life predicted death sentence. That was amazing out of Bunny Fufu. And the flame mid-jump.
Like I said, Doublelift has 2 abilities that can self-heal, but no. Not when there's Bunny Fufu.
And wow, what a play from the support player on Curse Academy. I'm speechless after that. And we'll see the replay here. Zoomed in on Bunny at the start. He lands the brush for vision. That's a first great bit. The play, and then the predicted flash that comes out of the death sentence. Oh my god.
Goodness. That was the best piece of support play I think I've ever seen.
And giving it over to Impactful just means that he's going to be able to get himself back into this game. He's now 1-1-2.
I'm almost done. Like, that was just amazing. CLG now setting themselves up in this little brush that did manage to net them kills before. Link getting a command attack onto... Oh, Dexter actually just went full replay mode then. That was exactly where he aimed the last one, but didn't work out this time. So Vicious takes half his health. Kane trying to answer back with a bit of poke of his
And the teleport's coming through.
Yeah, flashing immediately out of the cocoon. Teleport coming in. That's the Death Sentence landing though, immediately taking Seraph off this map. Didn't even get to use Wild Growth. That Death Sentence was fantastic.
And Seraph looked like he wanted to go in and fight, and the rest of CLG just kited backwards. Going for a dragon, that's a top laner down, and this is going to be uncontested. Curse Academy is straight back in this game.
Yep, 4-4 now in kills, and now that they've taken this dragon, 200 gold now in the lead for Curse Academy. And the cocoon does land on a Bunny Fufu, and to be perfectly honest, that is the best target to land some CC on, because if you let him make plays, he'll make the plays.
Yeah, his Thresh has been absolutely amazing. And now the CS advantages in the bottom lane are even back out. Impact was going to pick up even more farm. He's not far away from his Static Shiv either.
Yeah.
And
going for a bit of a different build here on Lucian as well, picking up the Boots of Lucidity, but still going for what looks like a Static Shiv. Might actually even be a Trinity Force, as was the previous best item.
yeah, no, it's definitely a Static Shiv. He's now picked up the Avarice Blade.
All right, got it. I like to talk about Trinity Forces, you know.
And straight away, as soon as he's got blown up like that, Chris is... Oh, sorry, Chris didn't get blown up, but Chris now has a Negatron Cloak. Seraph has picked up a needlessly large rod, so the shields that come through. As we have a little bit of a pause.
A little bit of a pause. That was almost a quite annoying sound that was on the screen as well. Thank goodness has been put down. But we'll see what's going on. It looks like Aframu has a little bit of an issue. But so far, Curse Academy with this comeback play. I mean, I thought that quadra kill from Doublelift, that was just going to spur CLG into just rocketing through this one. It's actually a monitor issue on Doublelift, everyone. We are going to get that one sorted out ASAP and back into this game. But we'll see whether, in fact, they're not allowed to speak right now to each other. But do you think that CLG could potentially just calm down, get themselves back into this game? Because so far, Curse Academy have been dictating all the plays.
Yeah, well, when we talk about how emotional CLG are, you have to think that a quadra kill onto their star player is the thing that would get them ramped up. So
exactly.
Even though they lost one team fight, got a nice pick, you would think they're still feeling quite good. 4-2-0 on a Tristana with nearly 9,000 gold at only the 22-minute mark is definitely the position you want Doublelift to be in. So I don't think they're going to be too down on themselves. They still have the ingredients to win 5v5 team fights and a hyper carry into the late game. So I think morale after that quadra kill would be exactly what they needed.
Yeah, precisely. But as we can see, everything is completely tied up.
Yeah, so
32.8k on both sides.
Yeah, and that was from that pick that they got on Sarah in the last fight, teleporting in a little bit of miscommunication. We've been saying it all along. It does look like there are some communication issues in CLG. Led to a dragon, and that just put the game back completely on level footing. And whilst Impactful is behind Doublelift by about 1,000 gold, the exact same gold lead is coming across on, St. Vicious. He's having a brilliant game in the jungle.
He certainly is. Not to mention the fact that Chris has found his way back in, picked up another kill, actually. I think he did pick up that kill onto Seraph when they managed to pick that one up. So see whether he manages to scale up into this this late game as well. 50 CS down now I believe. So Chris not having the best one.
Yeah, so it's not getting any worse, but it's at least consolidated to around the 50 CS mark. It's been fluctuating between about 60 and 40 the whole game. They need to find him a little bit of a solo lane so he can use his teleport to his advantage and just try and pick up some minions and scale into that late game hyper carry.
Yeah, that is definitely true. And you can imagine if anyone's going to be able to do it, it's this guy. So let's just hope that it'll happen because I want 5 games. I don't want 3 games. I want 5. So let's hear it for CLG. Let's do it. Come on, 5 games, guys.
So we are back into the game. We see the Culling coming out of Impact Pool.
Yeah, there it is. 5 games. Come on, CLG, you can do it. But yeah, the Culling coming through, clearing out that wave as quickly as possible. And W Evolve doing a bit of work there as well. Double Lift hanging out behind Aphromoo. So back into it, and we'll see Dexter's actually moving around to this bottom side of the map too. So we're going to have 4 strong sieging down on this turret. And is this what CLG needs to be doing? Do they want to be sieging?
Well, they definitely have a better 5v5 team fight. However, they have to ensure vision because Chris's teleport is up and we've seen how well Bunny can make plays. So if someone gets hooked and Chris is able to teleport in, this could be a disastrous play. Although he is so he might just be looking to push his wave. They have sent Double Lift back to deal with him.
Yep, so he's going to use that ultimate, clear out this wave as quickly as possible. I could imagine he's going to head back to base. There it is. Teleport back, no worries at all. And Curse Academy managed to lever some control of this bottom lane as well. Double Lift actually chasing Chris a little bit here. I think just asserting a bit of dominance. But now 400 gold in favor of Curse Academy here. Very, very close. But having those 4 kills onto Double Lift is exactly what they want. Actually, Chris sneaks out. Not bad, but look at Double Lift so far up. This could be dangerous, but everyone is around this sort of top side of Curse Academy's base. And they are getting a bit sandwiched.
Link just stole away the big Wraith. That's a fantastic feeling as a mid laner when you sneak that over the wall. And it looks like the vision control of CLG is starting to take place. They've got the complete bottom side of the jungle warded, and they were able to sweep out the pink behind Baron, meaning if they want to do that anytime soon, they can possibly contest. As we see, Double Lift has mirrored the split push of Chris, and the rest of the team is looking to contest this buff.
Oh, Keen almost unable to take that one. Using an auto attack as Xerath, not necessarily his biggest spike of damage, but does manage to secure it in the end. After that Arcano Pulse, opting for that Void Staff, second item again. And that is good because, of course, he doesn't have the utility abilities like that of an Orianna.
So it looks like Double Lift and Aphromoo were able to walk across, pick up the red buff, so a little bit of counter jungling going through on the side of CLG. 250 CS and 260 for Link. At 24 minutes, they're having monster CS games once again.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a farm off between the mid lane and the AD carry from the CLG. Probably having a little bit of a battle. Now 10 in the lead for Link. We'll see who wins by the end of the game. Of course, I believe it'll probably be Double Lift, let's be honest.
Although Link is farming phenomenally well. He's picked up his death cap at this point, so those shockwaves are going to be doing a lot of damage.
Not to mention the Command Protect as well.
Yeah, and there's only, I guess, Hex Drinker is a good pickup for some Vicious in these fights, but apart from that, only Ryze really has any magic resist at all. And if that goes onto someone like an Impactful, or even a Bunny who has some of the hard CC for his team, that could be the worst possible start to a team fight.
See whether they do manage to make it work. Now you can see that that shield is doing a fair bit. So Link managing to get that on Double Lift could really turn something around. Red buff is available for Double Lift's taking at his leisure. And again, everything even. And it's just, you just don't necessarily know what could happen because Curse Academy, even though they may not necessarily have the Tristana, that late game insurance, they've been team fighting so well today.
Yeah, and they've got the Ryze Xerath, who are terrific late game carries in their own right. So if they're able to get onto Tristana, they can just wipe her off the map. And the CS discrepancy between Chris and Seraph has been completely closed.
Yep.
Chris is 8 CS behind now. They've been funneling a lot of that onto Double Lift. Seraph's been sticking with the team, playing more of that support top laner role. And if Ryze continues to scale like this, it could be the answer that Curse Academy are looking for.
Yeah, and Ryze has also been free just to farm solo lanes as well on his own without anyone actually bothering him. So doing too badly here. Has managed to pick up a couple of pink wards as well.
As the Cocoon was missed from Dexter, so potentially looking for his in these team fights. They do have equal teleports, and it's only 30 seconds until the next dragon.
And I think that that could decide a whole lot, especially in this game. Just because everything's so close, and both of these teams are playing so emotionally. Chris now actually gets whimsied up there a little bit. Seraph just saying, no, I'm not going to be able to trade with me.
But it looks like the days of him being bullied are completely over. He's looking to fight this one now. Wow,
Oh my damage,
so
already
much damage.
half as well. Seraph will have to use that ultimate, and there it is. Now using that speed up, he's going to get to safety, but Chris has sent him a message now.
Yeah, and with Dragon live now, they can look to fight, and they don't have one of the key ingredients to their comps.
Funny Fufu taking a lot of damage from that attack dissonance combo from Link. Oh, there's another death sentence landing on Afro. Look at all of that long-range poke. Keen can follow up from almost anywhere on the map on any of those CCs that do happen to land. But Ghost Academy now, full vision is this dragon. They're going to try and pull it out and take that one down. It's getting taken down solo. That's not going to be contested here from CLG. That's going to get them a slightly significant gold lead in 1,000. Not really, that's not significant at all, but I like to sort of talk things up, make it seem exciting.
Because of Sarah's ult being on cooldown, then they just couldn't fight that. Smart decision from CLG, with the way Curse Academy have been team fighting, to recognize that an important ability was on cooldown and just backing away. 700 gold at this point in the game, particularly with a Tristana, means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, we do have Keen to the point where he can just use WQ combo to clear out an entire wave instantly. So that is definitely a cool feeling when you are Xerath.
But Afromu's going to back right now. He's going to pick up a Bloodthirster, so the crits coming out of him are going to be so much more potent.
Yeah, and Doublelift is now 40 CS up on the minute mark. Like, that's ridiculous. These guys are just farming so much, and that's what's keeping them in this gold game after losing the Dragons.
Yeah, and after Impactful being completely even at the 10-minute mark, the next 18 minutes has seen a 70 CS advantage going the way of Doublelift just because of the way these guys play. However, Link in the mid lane has done exactly the same thing. He's been able to pick up all the farm for himself. As they're looking to bait Chris there into a fight, Doublelift was
a little bit
on
of
the
a
side.
out there too. I liked it.
However, did back away.
Yeah, we do have, of course, that trinity of damage items from Keen in that mid lane. Sort of your standard Void Staff, Rabadon's Death Cap, and that Athene's Unholy Grail, as well as the Sword Boots. So he's hit a bit of a decent spike here now that he's picked up that blue buff especially. But not really making the plays that they were in the last couple of games. Curse Academy look on the back foot here, and that's not what we're used to. Doublelift now looking to make a play onto Chris. Does have the Banshee's Veil available. And the Glacial Shroud is going to be the most important part of that, but opting not to go for that one. You can see Curse Academy actually waiting in the wings around here as well. Doublelift has been spotted out, just mildly. And we'll see, it's so tentative from both of these guys. You can imagine CLG feeling so much pressure right now.
Yeah, and this game is on a knife edge at the moment. While CLG has a better team fight comp, if one thing goes wrong, this game could spiral out of control, and they have no lives left after this. If they lose, they're no longer in the LCS, so everything on the line for this team. They're looking to play it super straight, safe, and maybe scale a little bit further into that bot lane. Wait for a mistake to come out of the challenger team, then capitalize on that.
But that hasn't been something they've been able to do. Of course, Curse Academy have looked so strong throughout this entire series. So we'll see whether it does actually happen, or whether CLG have finally managed it. You know, they've got to this 3-game mark, and finally CA are about to crack, but see whether it gets through, of course. They're going to feel pretty confident because they can drop this game and they can just come back in the next one.
Yeah, and we do see Doublelift, once again, farming up in the middle lane. Impactful is in the bottom lane, so this is going to give complete ward control of the Baron to CLG, although they must be having nightmares of last game when they look at this. Looks like they're just sending Doublelift once again to the top lane to farm up even further.
Yep, Chris going to be backing away yet again. You can imagine that he's not too far away from either a Seraph's Embrace or that Frozen Heart. No, just going to grab some wards, so I like it.
Yeah, ward control at this point of the game is completely key. Look at the vision control of the top side of the jungle. CLG just have eyes everywhere, able to pick up as much farm as they want, and they're started to really concentrate this Baron area. You can see sweeping it out once again, trying to draw Curse Academy in to that team fight oriented comp that they have.
Yeah, CLG looking to possibly make a move here. Double lift now getting sped up. Look at Bunny Fufu taking so much damage from those crits. The Unbreakable from Aphromoo, fantastic. But there's the ultimate coming through. Aphromoo could be going down here, but no, he's not. The last shot not going to come through. There's the flash death sentence, but that's going to be flashed out of the way from, and neither team. Oh, Seraph in so much trouble. That Arcano Pulse almost finishing him off. The Curse Academy now feel like they have enough control to take this Baron.
However, there is a ward behind, and Seraph does have teleport, so this could be the fight that they are looking for. They have pulled away.
There's the teleport coming in here as well, so Curse Academy wisely backing off the Baron. Everything's so tense around this Baron pit. The vision is exactly what they're fighting to keep control of.
And CLG racing down the mid lane. Double lift will shred through these turrets. He's already nearly got that to... He's completely destroyed that turret. They can fight now.
Yeah, Aphromoo now in a lot of trouble as well. That's a nice shield to come through from Seraph, but that Chris going to be going down in the front line. Now that the turret's dead, that he stood no chance. And Aphromoo now on no health, he doesn't mind. They're happy to push this one up. You can see the double lift show has begun. That quadra kill paying dividends. They're going to take an inhibitor turret here as well. Unanswered, impactful. Didn't even hit anyone with that culling. That was ridiculously well rotated by CLG.
And now St. Vicious is out of position. He tried to catch the wave and hold it off the turret. However, they just face tanked it. And now, if they go to...
Oh, that's actually going to be Dexter being taken down by the ultimate of Keen now that it's come back up. A little bit of a walk back kill there as well, but that could mean a Baron actually with the jungler down from CLG.
Yeah, 30 seconds and Chris has his teleport available. As soon as they arrive there, he's going to be up and ready to teleport in, and the damage that comes out of Rise on Baron is huge.
Does have a lot of his stacking items up to a large point as well. 32 minutes into this game. Aphromoo does not want any of this though. The stun's going to go wide from Keen. Konopol's going to get a bit of damage onto Link. We'll see whether this is going to be enough. Oh, St. Vicious forced to jump out of this one. Unable to make the play. Of course, the only ones with the smite, they probably had the advantage there, but they have to respect the shockwave.
However, they've gone straight back to it, but impactful. Wow, taking so much damage from that Baron. They're going to have to pull completely off it. This might be a dragon in favor of CLG, or they might just race up mid lane and get that inhibitor. Looks like they will go for the dragon.
Yeah, Curse Academy going to back away, going to make sure that that inhibitor is going to be safe, while Bunny Fufu and Chris hang out in this top lane, going to just wander to a safe position before backing. Aphromoo consolidating vision around the Baron pit as well, although that's one ward that is still hanging out. And this top wave actually for Curse Academy is pushing through, so they need to do something about that. We'll see whether, yeah, Curse Academy do come through and actually try and go for this Baron, but so far just not really the action that we were seeing in the last game.
Yeah, just trying to consolidate vision across the map. They have jumped out to a 2,000 gold lead, so that's nothing to scoff at, although it is 35 minutes through the game nearly, so right. Everything will hinge on one of those massive team fights, and it looks like neither team wants to step up and make it happen.
Yeah, and I think that Chris finishing off this and Frozen Heart as well is going to be very, very important. Of course, double lift on this Tristana, really reliant on that attack speed, especially, you know, with that rapid fire giving him so much. So we'll see whether, when that comes through, whether CA are going to be able to stand up to him in these fights, or whether he's still just going to be that absolute beast. Now with a Bloodthirster Infinity Edge, Banshee's Veil, and of course that Static Shiv as well. So he is so strong. And when he gets that last whistle, he's just going to be wrecking people.
Yeah, and he's nearly 400 CS at 35 minutes. He's been an absolute farming machine.
I didn't know they provided that many minions in the game by that point.
And it looks like they are trying to set up for another pick around Baron. Want to funnel Curse Academy through. Keen trying to poke, however, and looks like they might just once again race down mid lane.
Yeah, without any vision here, Double Lift actually taking a bit of not damage. That's just his shield being taken down. Nice box placement. Going to stop people from coming through. But Bunny Fufu in so much trouble, using the face of the mountain onto himself. He might even survive here. Look at Aphromoo getting taken down so low, but no one really wanting to commit. This is exactly what Curse Academy want to do. They want to try and kite, but you can see no one dying, and with the shields, everyone's so healthy.
Yeah, and only the support's taking damage that fight, so that means that they're ready to get back in there as soon as possible. You saw King did land that stun on Double Lift, but there was just no follow-up from that range, and wow, look at the shields that come through onto Double Lift with that Bloodthirster, Orianna, and Lulu. He just gets so much effective health with all that life steal.
He looks like a tank. Sort of like a Mundo, but it's actually a little Yordle. It's very, very confusing. Of course, Aphromoo being forced back. Oh, nice ultimate. That was blind. Just a guess in that brush. And they're going to two sweepers, like, surely there's a ward there, guys.
However, it does look like Doublelift wants to lead the charge once again.
Yeah, he's got a lot of things rotating around him right now. There's the flash, actually doesn't manage to land. The Rune Prison does Chris, and Dexter gets caught up by that death sentence as well. But nothing actually coming out of it. Of course, there's so many things landing, but it's just not quite enough with the shields, with the protection.
Whoa, as the death sentence just misses on Dexter, that could have spelled disaster. And chunking the jungler again. At this point, Curse Academy can turn around, get vision control over Baron, and try and put the shoe on the other foot.
So they do manage to make that work. Of course, Chris heading down to the bottom lane. His teleport is just about to come off cooldown, so really nice timing on that one. So he's going to be able to push that one out. CLG again trying to consolidate. Keen being really annoying on this Xerath, just poking people out. It's exactly what he needs to do. But he's just not quite having the impact on this champion as he did on Orianna, where he's able to make those big plays.
And Doublelift searching for people in the top lane, seeing if anyone is still there. Unfortunately, they're not. Afro trying to sweep out that ward in the back of Baron Pit, and with so many people going back to buy, they might even try and start this up, because with all the shields, they're not going to take any damage.
That's exactly right, and of course, look at Doublelift. Like, it's just ridiculous. The shields, Bloodthirster, and of course Lulu, and of course Command Protect. But you can see there's the ward actually landing on a Link. Oh, almost getting taken down. That's 3 shots coming down onto him if they manage to get rid of the shockwave. But look at St. Vicious. He's nowhere near this Baron. It's getting taken down so low. Bunny's gonna be able to get in there, but it's gonna be Dexter to pick that one up. Immediately flashes out this Bunny Fufu, and look at the Unbreakable, blocks the entire culling. And that's just going to be CLG wandering out. We'll take the Baron and go. It's fine.
Perfect understanding of their comp by CLG, knowing that the shields was going to keep everyone healthy. Only Link really fell low, and that was from such a long-range ultimate that it didn't matter. The engage just wasn't there. Picking up a free Baron, and the effective stats of that Baron are so important. And wow,
very, very
if
dangerous.
the Whimsy had have come through, then he could have nearly got blown up.
Yeah, Baphomet going to be backing out, as is Doublelift. Very, very dangerous now for Curse Academy. They are pushing up so far into a team that has Baron. 3,000 gold, now the lead for CLG. So at 40 minutes, I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but with the Baron buff as well, giving them so many extra stats, it is very, very scary. Of course, Doublelift probably just trying to save up so that he can go back, sell that Doran's Blade, and pick up that last Whisper to be that 6-item Tristana that you never, ever, ever want to see if you're against him.
Definitely not. And the middle inhibitor is still open.
Yep.
So you have to remember that they can just walk up to that inhib and take the first one of the game and start rotating around the map, looking at that bottom lane, which is nice and pushed up for Doublelift to go get that farm. He has picked up his last Whisper.
He doesn't need to pick up the farm anymore.
So he's absolutely huge. It looks like they will be giving it over to Seraph. He's going to look to pick up his Onya's Hourglass.
And with a low kill game like this, Doublelift has 100% of the kills. Like, he is the team right now. Everyone just needs to keep that guy protected. And as we were seeing, with all of those shields, as he was taking the front line, and Curse Academy didn't want to fight him.
Yeah, he's just completely unkillable unless they can catch him out. And that Banshee's Veil just means that he's so much harder to get in a bad position.
Yeah, precisely. We'll see whether they can make it work, of course. Curse Academy have team fought fantastically in the past, and if CLG wants to be taking these objectives, they have to move as a team and take them together, because otherwise it's just not going to work out. St. Vicious is in an odd position this stage, trying to get around to this dragon, maybe sneak that one out. But I think that they need to focus on their team play, because that's where they've been excelling.
It does look like Saint does want to get a little bit of a flank in here, so maybe looking to fight.
He's been playing too much Evelyn, man.
Even though Baron is up on CLG, so CLG don't want anything to do with that dragon. They just want to rush up mid lane and get that inhibitor.
Yeah, but you can see, it's St. Vicious just wanting to stop the siege from coming through, but with no turret, they're not going to worry about it. Look at Impactful getting taken down to half health already. Doublelift now at level 18, just able to stand so far back. St. Vicious unable to really do anything for his team with that move.
And wow, he might be caught here. They're moving so quickly, and Doublelift's gone in.
Yeah, there's the counter jump as well coming through. There's the ultimate coming through from Kane, but look at St. Vicious. Doublelift trying to get him down, but not quite making the play in order to get there. The Warden's Mail doing a fair bit of work.
That will mean another outer turret in the favor of CLG. This gold lead is starting to grow, and with Doublelift being this massive carry, he is so fed. I don't think there's anything they can do about it.
I don't think it's about gold at this stage, of course. Aframu using that Unbreakable fantastically Oh, and look at the dodge from Doublelift. He might have been caught up here just a little bit. Look at the shields. Hasn't lost any health there at all. And Bunny Fufu gets taken down solo. There's the shockwave from Link at the same time. Afromu gets wild growth. There's the repel coming down. Focus the turrets, guys. You are going to be able to take this one out, but Doublelift doesn't want to. He's going to flash forward into this one. Able to take St. Vicious so low, and now they'll turn around. Now they'll take those turrets. The top inhibitor going to fall down as well. CLG looking back in control, and this could be it. This could be the 3-2 comeback for CLG.
Yeah, it looks like they will be trying to throw an ultimate out, but that's the damage done. 2 inhibitors, even more kills. They're going to be able to go back and pick Seraph up some more items. Although it looks like Doublelift isn't done. He wants the bottom lane as well.
Yep, of course. Feels like a god at this stage, especially when he's with his team, where he just cannot be hurt. That last team fight was ridiculous. You saw everything get blown on Doublelift, and his health bar was just going up and down.
Yeah, he didn't get damaged whatsoever. That command protect, as we see the fight. Look at this, they blew so much on him, and he was just completely healthy. And then the shockwave that comes through just pulls Chris back into the team. Doublelift from the back, able to do so much damage. And just the 5v5 team fight at this point means that Doublelift is completely unstoppable. He can play with reckless abandon and not be in any danger.
Yeah, he's like the little child of CLG at this stage. He just gets all the protection from all of the mums and dads on his team. He's going to be A-OK. Now he has, you know, of course, Banshee's Veil as well. So he's got his blanket. He's going to be fine.
He's also picked up an enchantment on his boots, so it doesn't look like he's going to be selling them anytime soon. Of course, Seppa is the preferred 6th item on some AD carries. However, with all of the attack speed from Rapid Fire, not really needed, and the movement speed is so key in this team comp.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that Doublelift has been able to orb walk whilst walking towards his opponents as well, managing to dodge these skills and keep the speed up. So he wants as much movement speed as possible.
And CLG just waiting for the minion waves to catch up to the base. So smart, holding the wave there, and now they look to siege when the top wave is pushing in.
There's an Unbreakable coming through again. This is sort of the tactic that has worked so well so far. And Doublelift just able to just shoot that from so high range. No one could do anything about it. Now, streaming to an 8,000 gold lead, this inhibitor is definitely going to go down. Dexter on half health. You could imagine that Doublelift is just going to pound this one through. And Super Creep streaming into the base. Curse Academy's win streak might be broken right now. The Nexus turrets are going down. Look at Doublelift. So much damage. So many shields. The second Nexus turret's going to fall. So much is trying to come through. The death sentence lands, but the Nexus is open. St. Vicious jumps through. Such a desperate play. Dexter now trying to do the work. He's going to rappel up, get out of there. Nice 2-man shockwave on Bunny Fufu and Chris. But there's Seraph getting the damage through onto St. Vicious. And finally, Keen getting some kills, but Doublelift is still alive. That's what you got to watch out for. The exhaust comes through. The Nexus falls. CLG come back in the 3rd game.
Series is now at 2-1 Atlas, and what a game out of the AD carry of CLG.
That's the man.
Absolutely massive, but augmented so well by his team. All those shields and speed ups coming through, and that was a perfect performance.
Yeah, as far as a protect the Tristana team comp works, if you've got your Tristana being controlled by Doublelift, you know that it's going to work out, and that game was fantastic. That first quadra kill, incredible. Bunny Fufu, though, I have to say, that play on Thresh, ridiculous.
Yeah, so Bunny Fufu, of course, had a great game.
Yeah.
Saint had another fairly good early game as well.
Yeah.
However, as soon as you saw all that farm being funneled onto the Trist, it was just like a ticking time bomb. If that got to extremely late game, which it did, he just exploded and was able to completely take over the game.
Not to mention Link as well. This was probably the best performance that he's had so far this series. Picking up that Orianna and farming, keeping up with Doublelift throughout the majority of the game, was actually ahead of him, I think, at about the 30-minute mark.
Yeah, when it was 360 to 340, you knew they were really going for it.
Does it?
But yeah, Link hit some really clutch shockwaves as well, able to pull Chris back into the fight in the last one that really mattered. And yeah, together, as a whole unit, this was the best I've seen CLG perform in a long time.
Not to mention Dexter on Elise as well. He was playing fantastically. So CLG just looking to be back into it this time. So let's send it over to Dash at the analyst desk for an inside look at that match.
Thank you very much, Atlas. CLG showing signs of life here in this best of 5, bringing the series to 2-1 with a great end game, late game carry composition. So I guess I might have to retract my statement from earlier where I said it's time to take stock out of Doublelift and move it elsewhere, because they did exactly the opposite, put more stock into him, and it was successful this time around.
I think that was the most CLG game I've ever seen from CLG. That was just absolutely just it's just CLG in a nutshell. Like they got Doublelift ahead, got a quadra kill, started carrying, did really well. And I mean, sure there were times when I felt like the game could have been a bit faster, but I mean they did have a licking comp and they waited for the right power spikes and it worked out.
I'd also like to point out Seraph's early game play on that Lulu. At one point, he was above 80 CS to 24 on Rise. So I feel like that can't be overlooked as well when we're looking at what pieces of the CLG puzzle worked correctly. I think some credit is due there.
Right. I think Seraph maybe hasn't had many good games in the LCS to split, but especially in the last 2 games, he's shown up quite well. Or really, really good actually. I think the last game he was 60 CS, or this game was 60 CS ahead, and the game before that he was like 50 CS ahead, and he was getting solo kills. Like he's been doing really, really well in this series, and he's the reason why the gold differential is even when CLG keeps losing dragons, because he has such a massive lead on his lane.
Looking further into the composition itself, we saw the Orianna get picked away, which I think was fairly successful in the sense that by forcing Keen onto the Xerath, right, he didn't have quite that impact that we talked about Orianna being able to have. Whether or not it's necessarily the super playmaking champion, there is that possibility of having the one great ultimate to change a fight. I feel like just knocking him off kilter a little bit really helped with pushing into that late game and having more confidence when CLG was picking those fights.
Actually, that Keen played pretty well that game. He landed a lot of crucial stuns, a lot of CC, a lot of damage, and he got a couple kills. I think he was part of the reason why Curtis County was ahead in the mid game. But I mean, late game Tristana, you're just not going to beat that. I really hope that they have an answer for it, or they just pick it away next game.
All right, let's jump into a replay. You already mentioned it, the quadra kill early. That kind of started that train rolling. We're going to pull it up on your screen right now, 13 minutes into the game. So, Special, since you already hit on it, I'll let you finish it up.
So I don't think Curse Academy has vision of the dragon right now, and COG knows that. They're waiting for them to walk in, and they want to engage. And let's see what happens. So actually, you have ward, but I mean, Dexter flashes in, actually blocks the hook from hitting Link, lands some good CC, while Makamo Tristana is decently strong at this point, and is able to get a bunch of resets. He gets really low here, but I mean, fortunately, this doesn't die, and it turns out to be a 4 for 2, but it's 4 kills on a hyper carry Tristana, who in this team comp needs the kills the most. He's willing to trade 1 for 1, even though he already had 3 kills. This is because the more gold you get on him, the better COG is going to do in the mid and late game. And the faster he gets his items, the stronger he'll be. And, I mean, COG for, I mean...
Yeah, hey, exactly. They extend the game. They go past that 40-minute mark. Doublelift is well over 400 CS, right into his 6 items. And at that point, exactly, we were talking back here. We were trying to do the math in our heads really quickly about the number of shields he was getting. That's like a 5,000 health Tristana, essentially, running at you at the forefront of a fight, saying, here, take my 700 damage crits.
Yeah, I really think that... Curse Academy wasn't really thinking about draft. When you see a first pick Tristana, immediately you have to think like, okay, well they either messed up or they're gonna run a very hyper carry centric comp, and you need to be able to pick apart stuff that breaks it up really, really easily. So they went with a late top lane pick, and they picked Rise after Lulu was picked by CLG. CLG, I feel like if they wanted to run that comp, should have maybe picked Lulu. Or if they were going to first pick Trist, then immediately the reaction on Curse Academy side would be to pick Lulu away from the other team. That way they're forced to pick Mundo or Rise, stuff that Xerath does pretty well against. And that if they can break apart the Ultra Protect comp on the AD carry, they can make it a lot easier to deal with. And they already dealt with it pretty well. Like I think I agree with Special. I think that was actually Keen's probably best game of the series. It just sucks that they lost the game, but I think that was definitely his best game.
Yeah, as you said, they took that Thresh and Caw in the first 2 picks, leaving up the Lu and Orianna to quickly fall on the other side of CLG. So maybe even just one of those 2 picks going in the way of stealing that Lulu or stealing away, the Braum, whatever it is that is helping to keep that Tristana alive. Let's jump now to the end of the game. We're near the end of the game, 41 minutes in. The big fight in the top lane where we kind of watched that Tristana turret dive by herself. Ascara, I'll let you take this one.
I think at this point, the game is already like looking really, really bad for Crystal Academy. Like they need to find some way to deal with their team. And I think at this moment, Triss has enough shields and 6 items just to be able to walk in this team. And the worst thing is they also have Braum, meaning that none of their damage could actually go through Braum except for Xerath. And Xerath can't do 4,000 damage. So Triss gets the ultimate protect comp that she's always dreamed of, and she pretty much 1v5s. Well, essentially 1v5s with the whole team around her.
Yeah, exactly. We get to that point where you're pretty much going to get run over by a Tristana. So now let's look forward, because CLG definitely looking like they're in form again. That, like you said, Special, that is the most CLG way that CLG could have played that game. So moving into picks and bans of the next game. It has to be said that actually Curse Academy is going to be losing a ban for talking during one of the pauses during that game. So as both a coach and a player, first talk to me about what that can do to a team when you do lose one of your bans, especially, you know, in a series, right? When you've just lost a game, and then what they might do to remedy that or work around
blue side?
Curse Academy will be moving to blue side, correct?
The ban actually isn't as important on blue side. When you're purple side, on this patch, there's a lot more OPs that you kind of want to ban out. But on blue side, it's gonna influence their bans, and it's going to be interesting to see if Tristana actually gets through this time and if they'll actually first pick it. Yeah, blue side is not as important, but...
Yeah, I think that definitely that... one thing to note is that Curse Academy's war control in most of these games has been inferior to CLG's. And a lot of times the way you break apart games and accelerate games and finish them early is that you establish areas of vision and then create picks or play the map very, very well around those areas of vision. And... or else the game extends and extends and extends and goes really, really late. So if Curse Academy can't get this vision control better, then they're going to have games that can potentially go really, really late. Like this kind of Triss comp that CLG runs may just be the single comp, the only comp that they need to win the series.
Skara, you mentioned in the last segment that CLG is one of the more emotional teams or that you know, and that by losing a game, a lot of times that can spiral them out of their play style. Well, they've now won a game. Does that emotion work both ways? Is this going to be the catalyst for them to move forward into the next game?
I definitely hope so. Like I would like to see 2 more games for sure, but it's really hard to say. Like maybe with the help of Zuna and help of Hotshot taking a more proactive stance, they've like kind of solved a little bit of their mental fortitude problems and stuff like that. It's hard to say. I really want to just see how this next draft goes and how this next game goes. I think that CLG's just found a way to win the game. It's up to Curse Academy to find a way to not fall into that cycle.
Especially you've played against CLG this split. And so I want to get your take on whether or not you think that they're going to come out with the win in the next 2 games.
Ooh, that's a tough question, man.
I know, it's a tall order, I realize that.
I would say it's going to be up to the draft. I think CLG, they're playing their late game really well. If they get their Kog'Maw or a Tristana in there, I think they can definitely do something. But at the same time, Curse Academy, they are winning mid-game teamfights a lot of the time, and they get the champions that they can win those teamfights with. I think they can take the series.
All right, CLG, they got to put all of their cookies in the late game cookie jar. And we'll see, has CounterLogic Gaming managed to stop their slide in this series? We'll find out in Game 4 when we come back.
Let's do it.
You ready?
One more game, baby.
Let's do it. One more.
Double lift is jumping all around this fight. Is he going to be able to pick up more? The flash, the triple kill. Is Chris going to go down? No, yes, the quadra kill.
He lands the brush for vision. That's a first great bit. The play, and then the predicted flash that comes out of the death sentence.
Oh my god.
Hasn't lost any health there at all. And Bunny Fury gets taken down solo. There's the shockwave from Link at the same time. Nice 2-man shockwave on Bunny Fury and Chris. But there's Seraph getting the damage through onto the same fishes. CLG come back in the 3rd game.